News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Vigils last night across the state to remember those slain in Orlando. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Monday, June 13th, 2016. Skies partly cloudy. We've got 43 degrees, a little chilly here in western Montana. Our newscast this morning sponsored by the Mustard Seed Asian Cafe at Southgate Mall. Our top story this morning, several vigils took place across Montana last night to remember the victims of the shooting massacre in Orlando. NBC Montana reports that organizers at the University of Montana held a vigil at the Oval on campus that started at 8 p.m. People placed flowers and candles at the vigil, even made posters with messages like, "Get better, Orlando," and, quote, "We're all in this together," end quote. The shooters believed to be inspired by ISIS. Montanans know the dangers of the militant group, but some see this as an opportunity for Americans to come together. Vigils were also held yesterday in Bozeman, Kalispell, and Butte. When every fire engine in the city fire department responds to a call, it's a major fire. And that's what happened Saturday at the University of Montana Student Housing Apartments on Wairika Court. Battalion Chief Derek Mullins has more.
When I pulled out of the station, I could see a pretty big column over in that direction, so we knew we had a pretty good fire going. We got reports when I was en route that police had got on scene and started evacuating the building, and their initial reports were everybody got out safely. We had every engine in the city respond to the call.
Mullins described the damage to the university housing apartment complex.
There's 8 apartments in that complex there, and 2 received some pretty heavy substantial fire damage to the apartment, and then above the apartment in the attic space, and then maybe just a little bit of water damage to the apartment below.
Mullins said there were 16 firefighters attacking the blaze, along with 2 inspectors, police, and ambulance crews. The investigation into the cause of the fire, which apparently started in a breezeway, is still underway. The Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office has found all of the people who fell out of a raft on the Yellowstone River Friday. The Billings Gazette reports that Sheriff Mike Linder confirmed Saturday that the final missing person had been in the water but was found safe. A raft carrying 5 people dumped them into the fast-moving water Friday. 3 of the rafters made it to shore. A 4th member of the group was later reported safe, but sheriff's officials had trouble finding the final person. Linder praised the response effort from his department, the Billings Police Department, Billings Fire Department, U.S. Water Rescue, and the Lockwood Fire Department. It was another busy week for Missoula County Attorney's Office. County Attorney Kirsten Pabst said her office processed 15 new cases last week.
1 methamphetamine case. We saw 4 DUI cases, or DUI-related cases, 3 of which were felonies. 1 involved a chase and an eluding situation. There was one where a parent allegedly picked up a child and then blew a .126. That was a child criminal endangerment case. And then another felony DUI.
Pabst says there was also an assault with a weapon case involving a baseball bat and partner or family member assaults.
We saw 3 partner family member assault cases, 2 of which were charged as felonies. 1 involved a beating and a strangulation, and the other one was an assault of a girlfriend at a motel that was allegedly pretty violent. 1 violation of an order of protection, and finally, 1 forgery case that involved a forged check cashed at Marvin's Bar, just under $500.
To wrap things up, Pabst said there were also a couple of thefts, one of which involved a violin. You can read about that story on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. The Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes have drafted legislation for returning the National Bison Range to federal trust ownership. The agreement comes after a lawsuit was filed challenging the transfer of the lands and control of the bison, saying more research is needed. The Missoulian newspaper reports the draft legislation promises to continue bison conservation programs and provide public access to the wildlife refuge if the federal government gives up all interests in the bison on the lands that would be transferred. The tribes are asking Montana's congressional delegation to introduce the bill, but there has been no agreement yet on that legislation. Homeowners across the state have been receiving scam phone calls claiming to be from Northwestern Energy. Media contact Butch Lacombe explains how the scam works.
These scams involve people calling up and saying the customer needs to pay their bill immediately or face having their power shut off, and they try and kind of create a crisis mentality among the customer, and that's certainly not going to be our approach.
Larkham says if there is a payment problem, the issue will be handled with much less urgency.
We're going to be in contact with them, probably sending something in writing saying, hey, you're behind on your bill and we need you to make arrangements to make payment. Or, and we'll probably have a string of communication rather than a desperate phone call. It's not going to be threatening, if you don't pay us by noon, we're going to shut your power off sort of situation.
According to Larkham, calls like this seem to appear in regional pockets and will use the names of various utilities to carry out the scheme. Although the calls are reported to authorities, they have rarely ended with an arrest. Teachers from 4 states will be learning about North Dakota coal. The Lignite Energy Council says elementary and secondary teachers from the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Montana are attending a seminar this week in Bismarck on how lignite is mined and used to produce energy. The Lignite Energy Council said it's been offering the seminar since 1986. More than 3,500 teachers have participated over the past 30 years. Teachers can get graduate credits for attending that seminar. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks is trying to fill volunteer positions on the Citizen Advisory Committee. Information and Education Program Manager Vivica Krauser is looking for committee members to give feedback on resource and management issues locally and across the state.
We have 20 people on the committee, and we meet about 4 times a year. And each year in June, we are looking for new members. You do serve a 4-year term, and those terms rotate. So in June, it opens up 4 slots each year for 4 new people to come on and volunteer their time.
Each region is looking for members. Krauser says Region 2 is hoping to add members from outside the city of Missoula.
We do always look to make sure we have people from all parts of the region, so not just in the greater Missoula area, but usually where we need the most representation, where we're kind of light, is the eastern reaches, Deer Lodge, Anaconda, that direction, and also north, Seeley Lake, Lincoln.
To apply for a position or for more information on the Citizens Advisory Committee, contact Fish, Wildlife, and Parks at 406-542-5500. And finally, several injuries were reported in an Interstate 90 crash in which a semi-trailer hauling cherries crossed the median, struck a van, and then rolled onto its top in Blacktail Creek west of Butte. Tammy Dobbs, a nurse from Bentonville, Arkansas, told the Montana Standard someone was holding the driver's head out of the water after the crash at 8:30 Friday morning. Officials say the driver was trapped in the cab for over an hour before rescuers were able to free him. A passenger in the tractor-trailer was able to get out by himself. Butte Silverbow Undersheriff George Skulatich said the 2 men in the semi and 2 of the 4 people in the van were hospitalized in stable condition. Boxes of cherries spilled into the creek. Our news talk time now is 6:13.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with our high temperatures in the upper 70s. Slight chance of a shower tonight. We'll see an increased threat of rain as we move into your Tuesday. Temperatures will be noticeably cooler with highs in the 50s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.